Tuck it in, Bob.
Hi, this is Loriano again, and this is a book that was sent to me by Mr. Bob Dempster, and I am looking at a quote here that was in this book about some of the pilots that were making this long journey, and it says here, Bob, please do not wake us until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning unless this hotel is on fire, and not even then unless the firemen have given up all hope. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're going to be dealing with the personal hardships along on this flight?
I think, well, I'm going to take Diane, my wife, and when she sees me sagging, she's going to grab me and drag me away from the press. So her job is to keep me going. Well, just keep me out of trouble.
So the support element's going to be really important on this trip.
Yeah, Diane will be not only a backup pilot, but logistics. And and they had logistics people go out a year ahead of time and get all kinds of information, particularly in areas like Alaska or Greenland and Iceland. Where were they going to land the planes? How were they going to moor them? Fuel, oil, supplies. Where were they going to spend the night? Sometimes the Navy ships would be there. They'd be billeted on the Navy ships. So there was quite a bit of preparation that went on ahead of time, and they had people at different stations along the way that would handle. Well, a lot of arrangements were made in Japan. So the Japanese had 2 months of celebrations. When they got there, they started changing engines and floats, and they were there for a very short time. And as soon as they had all their mechanical arrangements made, off they went. So they really had they were following the weather or being chased by the weather around, and so they couldn't really lollygag around and do too much partying. When they were in England, they were invited to the palace for the king and queen for a garden party, and they turned it down because they were working on the airplanes. And as soon as the weather got good, off they'd have to go. So they couldn't be down in London being at parties. So they did a little bit, but they couldn't be excessive about it. And if they weren't working on the plane, they just had to rest stop. 6 months on the road. Wow. So when Diane and I flew from England to Australia and down to Tasmania and back to Sydney, it was about 2.5 months. When I got to Sydney, I couldn't even tell you what my name was. So you don't get tired, you get fatigued. And when you get fatigued, you don't get a good night's sleep. You go to bed tired, you get up tired. You're always tired. So you have to learn how to deal with that and how to have checklists and stick to them. And you get to a point where you're so tired, you need checklists for the most rudimentary things. You get up and you say, okay, today I'm going to do this, 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 and then you put it in that order, and you say, okay, this is going to be 8:30, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, we take off. So you set out your whole schedule, because you can you get so tired that you can get distracted by something and then lose your time and your schedule. So you just have to know how to do it and take care of your health. And Diana and I would always eat separate meals, drink separate drinks. If she had tea, I might have a beer or something like that, or whatever. But it was always separate. So if one of us got sick, the other person could fly.
Good planning. Also, the weather, I understand, played a really vital role in when this trip began and when this trip ended.
Yeah, it left Seattle April 6th, which is still pretty cold in Seattle, and snowing and freezing in Alaska. The reason they did that is they wanted to get through Alaska before the summer or spring not monsoons, but high winds and fog started. And then they wanted to get to Japan before the June typhoon season, and through India the monsoon season, and then the North Atlantic, and before winter set in. And as a matter of fact, they had an early winter, said it went on North Atlantic, and it almost stalled the entire flight. The fjords they were going to land in with floats were freezing over. They couldn't get supply ships in, so they almost lost the trip right there. So it's, you know, you can't lollygag around. You've got to keep moving. You've got to keep moving. So it's a real, it's a marathon, and it's an Olympic marathon as far as flying. There's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Some of the flights are 5-6 hours long, 7 hours. The one from the Aleutians to Japan would be 15 hours and more, nonstop. So, which Diane and I have done in the Super Cup when we flew from Seattle to Oshkosh. So we flew 16 hours, 24 minutes and 3 seconds, which was, you know, a record for our airplane. Is a long time, but and I tried to stay awake the whole time and tried to stay alert. The problem with things like that is you don't get up fresh and then go do that. It's 1:30 in the morning when you take off. You've been working on the airplane for 3 months. You're exhausted when you start, type of thing. So, but knowing what challenges you face, of course, allows you to deal with them. Successfully.
Well, our fingers will be crossed at Pearson Air Museum. And Bob, please tell Diane that we wish both of you the best of luck and look forward to having you out at Pearson Air Museum September 2012. And for all you kids that want to focus on this incredible trip, make sure to visit your local library where you'll find plenty of information on this most historic journey with the Douglas World Cruiser around the world in 175 days. I'm sure you can go online too. Bob, where would be a good spot for them to look?
Well, our website is seattleworldcruiser.org. So it's all Seattle World Cruiser, one word, .org. So that's our website.
That's a place to look and start. And once again, I'm here with Bob Dempster. Him and his wife will be taking this incredible journey around the world, and we wish them all the best of luck, and we'll all be following it closely. Thanks so much, sir. Have a good day. Bye, kids.
Bye-bye.